Hello, Hamish here from mortgagesonline.co.nz. If you're a first home buyer looking to get into the market, things are about to change. It's going to become a little bit easier. Price caps and income caps for the Kainga Ora first home loan scheme, first home, I should say. Thinking about loans all the time, being a mortgage broker, but first home scheme has changed. So what has changed? The income cap. So one of the things is if you've had KiwiSaver for more than 3 years, you might be eligible to get into a home with a home grant and possibly an easier loan process. So as little as a 5% deposit might be possible. But what are the income caps? Used to be 85 grand for a single applicant. Now that's gone up to 95k. So for a family, it used to be 130k. So that's a couple. Could be more as well than a couple, but that has now moved up to 150k for a family that's buying together. So that's the income cap, meaning if you, before tax, if you're earning less than that, you might be eligible. There are some other rules. So we'll get into those, such as the price cap. Now the price cap works a bit different. It's different to each region, right? So what's moved in there, Auckland has changed. So in Auckland, for old houses, existing houses, it's only moved up a notch, 600 to 625. I was kind of surprised with that. But for new builds, it has moved from 650 to 700 grand. Okay. Now, what about outside of Auckland? If you're going into the Wellington region, it's going to be 500 to 550 for existing, but a little bit more for new, right? 550 to 650 in the Wellington region, which also includes Hutt City, Upper Hutt City, Porirua, now Kapiti Coast. Obviously, the best place to look this up is to Google some of the details, but I'm just going to go through the rough figures here. So places like Nelson, Hamilton, Western Bay of Plenty, Tauranga, Tasman, these have gone up as well. Existing 500 to 525, but for new 550 to 600. And I guess the big change, which is surprising, Napier and Hastings. For existing homes, that has actually gone, the price cap has gone from 400 to 525. For new homes, 500 to 600. Now you are able to buy outside of these areas, but not many changes outside of these particular areas, really. So that is going to help a few more home buyers get into the first home buyers, I should say, get into the actual housing market. So as part of this as well, if you have a 5% deposit, part of the scheme is that you can actually access home loans, which are closer to if you had a 20% deposit in terms of interest rate. So it's not a bad scheme, and we have helped the people previously with this. I think these changes are going to have a bit of an impact. There will be more people. I can see that some of the places, they haven't increased the price caps for the existing homes too much, and I suspect that's so that it doesn't push house prices up even quicker, because in some respect it does, introducing more buyers does do that. But I guess this, coupled with the changes to investors, might somehow even it out overall, possibly. Although these are very different properties to potentially where some Auckland investors might have been investing previously. But yeah, it's all going to get very interesting, but it is a positive step for first home buyers. If you need obviously any other advice, that's going to be all over Google and the internet, but you can always contact us if you're interested in a home loan, which might help you do this. Thank you for listening.